I do think you should take your headphones off, though.
Now I can hear so much better though.
This is what happens, Randall, when you get old, like Michelle. When you get
Yeah.
old, unlike us, but when we reach Michelle's age, we might have those type of headphones on.
I feel like I'm channeling my is it Robin with Howard Stern? Like I'm feeling very Robin Howard Stern
You know what?
right now.
You do you.
All righty. Hey everyone, it's the General with my co-host here, C Twist. And today's guest is I didn't even say welcome to Now Making Moves in Real Estate. It's been like a hot minute since we've done a podcast, so my intro's a little weak.
General, yeah,
Rusty, my gosh. What are we doing here?
moves away, and then we can't do the podcast, and now she can't even get the intro. What the heck?
Wah, wah, wah. Joining us today is Randall Zamora, a D Magazine recognized realtor, originally from Lubbock, Texas, who is now thriving in the Dallas market. He has ranked among the top 20% of agents in Lubbock and built his reputation on client first service, strong ethics, and consistent results. Earlier this year, he became the first Dallas-based agent to join the Gated Group, which, if you don't know, the Gated Group was founded by Gina Kirschenheiter and Travis Mullen, aligning with a team known for vision, collaboration, and influence. He also recently graduated from the Texas Realtors Leadership Program, TRLP, a true reflection of his commitment to personal growth and leadership in the real estate industry. Outside the hustle, Randall's passion for family keeps him grounded and focused on what matters most. So today we're going to dive into Randall's story and learn all about the things he's done this year and what's going to happen for him next year and beyond. So welcome, Randall Zamora.
Oh my gosh. Whoop, whoop. Here we go from Texas. I'm so excited. Courtney, Michelle, thank you guys so much for having me on. Michelle, thanks for the kind introduction. Like, I couldn't have said better things about myself. So thank you so much. But I love you and Courtney. I absolutely adore from the second that I met you guys on a Zoom, not even on a Zoom, just on a random call that you called me and just, Travis introduced me to, or told you about me, and then you reached out to me, and it was just kind of, a match made in heaven. So I appreciate you guys having me on and everything you guys have done. So yeah, I'm excited.
Well,
Well,
we
listen,
love having you. We are so blessed to have you be part of our organization, and we sure have had a lot of fun since you joined.
Yeah, it's
and
been a blast.
we're just getting started. I mean, here's the thing. Before we get into all the, juice, which is how you landed with us and Now Nation, let our listeners know a little bit about your backstory. Why'd you get into real estate? A little bit about your production, kind of the makeup of what your business looked like pre 2025.
Oof. You want the whole story or like just a little bit?
Yeah, we only got like 20 minutes, so we got a lot to talk about.
All right. So real quick. So went to school. School was completely boring for me. Decided that I was going to move down to San Antonio to go to UTSA. Told my dad I was going to go to UTSA and finish up school there. Got an apartment. And instead of going to register for school, I went to Champion School of Real Estate. Shout out to them. They have been absolutely incredible. They are where I do all of my continuing education, but registered at Champion School of Real Estate, got my real estate license, called my dad and said, "Hey, I'm a realtor." My dad said, "What?" And I said, "I didn't register for school. This is what I'm doing." He allowed me, and I'm very fortunate to dive in completely. He supported me for the first year and a half, 100%, and allowed me to dive into a career that I've absolutely fallen in love with. I mentored under the first or the top two agents at the time. They're both third generation realtors in San Antonio. I call San Antonio my real estate boot camp. I learned everything and anything that I could possibly do in 2.5 years that I was in San Antonio, and then moved back to Lubbock, Texas, where I'm originally from, and grew an incredible book of business there, and made it my goal to be one of the top agents in Lubbock. And I did that. And during the pandemic, decided to move out to Dallas, Texas in May of 2020. A great time to move if you get a wild hair and do that. So I did. And then my first year here in Dallas, I did right at about $15 million without knowing anybody. But, it's fun, really what I've learned is that what drives me is me picking up the phone. It's not about I love a CRM. I think it keeps us organized, but honestly, I'm old school. I've told you, Michelle, Courtney, I'm sure you've heard me say it. I'm a 60-year-old stuck in a 37-year-old body. I like to pick up the phone. I like to be intentional. I like to say, Michelle, how are you doing? How's Lauren doing? How's your week been? What can I do to help? What's going on? That is how I am intentional wise with my clients. And I think that the relationship that you grow every single day from the time that you start to work with with a client to the time that you close and beyond is what is so important when you grow a business that is lucrative in the markets that we go up and down with. When I got started in 2015, I mean, geez, we were at 5.75% and an interest rate, and we were cranking, and so it's no different than what I see now. It's one of those things now that I hear people say, like, oh my gosh, we're at 6.25%. And I'm like, back when I got started, we were at just right under 6%. Like, it's not an unhealthy rate. It's all about how you grow your business, how you are intentional with your clients, your past clients, and the people that you're going out and talking to. Uh, Sheila Moran told me years ago when I got started, she was my mentor. If you're in the office, you're not selling real estate. If you're out and about, without a doubt, you're selling real estate. So that is what has taught me that it doesn't matter where I am, if I'm here, if I'm there, I'm always talking. I'm looking at ways to connect people. I'm looking at, hey, how can I help you grow your business? And the same thing comes back. If you're out and about talking and willing and dealing and talking about real estate and the listings that you have or the buyers that you have, that's how you connect people and that's how you get deals done. So that's kind of my spill on how I've kind of started, and I've never looked back, I guess.
Well, I love that. I actually recently found out, I didn't realize there's like 50,000 agents in Dallas. That was what I heard. That's a lot of competition.
A lot.
Crazy.
A lot.
And you're doing yours, obviously you're a very relational agent with picking up the phone. Are many of your clients these days repeat or referrals, or are they still getting quite a few new ones? Because if you're doing it by calling, I mean, it's a lot of prospecting.
So a lot of my clients, strangely enough, as I moved out to Dallas, a lot of my clients, I've now kind of gone into the niche of like investors, if you will. And so that's been a new platform for me, right? Because I came from a market in a area that I was very much single family residence, like existing, like we're selling, we want to buy bigger or we want to downsize. And that was the market that I was used to, right? Like I was very minimal when it came to the investor side of things. But when I moved out to Dallas and I started networking at the local areas, the local restaurants or the local wine bars or wherever I was, I started meeting people that wanted to start placing their money in buying quadruplex or buying duplexes or buying multiple single family residents, that I kind of get, I don't want to say bored, but every once in a while when I show a, multi-million-dollar house, it's like, oh, I forgot what this is like to show like a regular single family residence. But I also have been very fortunate to learn the investment market because I learn the cap rates. I learn what, the investors want, what makes them tick. And so to answer your question, Courtney, like that's been a turn for me in the sense that I've kind of had to pivot. And so it's not how I normally would be, where I'm taking clients out I'm still taking clients out for dinner. I'm talking to them different things like that. But I'm not necessarily picking up the phone and saying, hey, how's the family? What are you doing? Like, how can I help? now picking up the phone and meeting people. It's now, are you, what kind of investment properties are you looking for now? What are you doing? So it's the conversation has kind of shifted, and I'm really wanting to now, going into 2026, really diving back into the neighborhoods that I have sold the last probably 10 deals. I'm really wanting to be that marketing specialist of like, I'm the
I actually
buyer's
have a
agent.
question for you along the investor line because I like to invest. Are you seeing most of the investments for long-term rentals or midterm, short term? Like what's what are they looking for these days in your market?
It's a little bit different here in Dallas. In Dallas proper, like Dallas County, we don't really allow short-term rentals anymore.
Okay.
So I have a seller that is getting ready to list a quadplex. I've actually talked to you about Courtney, and finally we're getting ready to list it. It's a quadplex, but she has designed it to be 30 days or more. So
Okay.
she's really designed it to traveling nurses because it's an area where there's a lot of hospitals and or individuals that are here in Dallas doing their internships. So you cannot lease any of the units for less than 30 days. It has to be 30 days or more. So it kind of varies. So in Collin County, yes, we still do short-term rentals as far as 30 days or less. In Dallas County, it's 30 days or more. So it's a little bit of both. I have a little bit of a combination of people that are ready to keep things in their portfolio where it's long-term, where they want to hold. And then there's some that are still coming in and buying, and they're like, yeah, let's flip, let's do it. So that's kind of where we are here in the Texas market in Dallas specifically.
Awesome. Yeah, I was curious.
Okay, so alongside your successful career in real estate that you've obviously, you took a risk in getting in the industry and it's paid off, so congratulations. But I want to know a little bit more about your leadership. So this TRLP certification is kind of a big deal. So, I mean, you're laughing, but like it's a big deal. I mean, I saw the social stuff that's been going on and the video you guys produce, and I also know the people that are in that group that are really ballers. So, what is that and how did you get picked?
Well, I was heavily involved very early on in my career with Texas Realtors, and I was very heavily involved with Women's Council of Realtors early on in my career. And then in 2016, 2017, I kind of stepped back because I really wanted to dive into really just not traveling as much, just kind of really honing in on my business and really building as much as I could. And so I've been told many times, hey, you need to go into Texas Realtors Leadership Program. And I was like, nah, I think I'm good. I've been there, done that, like bought the t-shirt, like I'm good. And then I was nominated by several individuals that put my name in the hat for this past year for Texas Realtors Leadership Program. And I So I fill out the application, you're vetted for it, you're interviewed for it, and then you are ultimately voted on, okay, we're accepting you or we're not. And me, amongst many other incredible leaders in the program, got accepted. And it's an 8-month program. And honestly, at the time, and I don't want to get emotional, and I'm not going to get emotional, but honestly, at the time, I had just recently lost my grandparents. Back last March, we lost my grandmom, and then 50 days to the day, we lost my granddad. And it was one of those things that I pulled up to orientation, and it was like, nope, not doing this. I'm going to turn my BMW around, and I'm going back to Dallas, and I'm not doing this. But something prompted me to just stay the course, and this is what I'm going to do. And it's the best thing that I could have ever done. It grew me in ways, not necessarily as a realtor, but in as a person, as an individual that really needed to look at things and really be able to work through things that would create me to allow me to be the intentional leader that I need to be, whether it's in my business, whether it's in a committee that I may run, whether it may be anything in life. It just allowed me to become this individual that I didn't know was inside of me, or maybe I always knew it was inside of me, but I didn't allow it to come out, if you will. But it's been absolutely life changing. So it's an 8-month program where we all meet as 20 individuals. And I didn't know that 20 people that I didn't know on day one, I would know all of their names by day two or even that evening, and I think all of us felt that way. It was one of those things that it allowed us all to grow as individuals, and they will be a lifetime of individuals that I will constantly call on. If I ever need advice on, hey, what would you do in this situation? Or they even too. Like, hey, Randall, I digress. I'm the only realtor in the group that has only been a realtor my entire adult career. And they all thought that was weird. Like 10 ways to Sunday, they thought that was weird. Like, what do you mean this is the only career you've known? Like, yeah, I didn't come from corporate America. This is literally all I've ever known. So it's been nice to be able to allow them to bounce ideas off of me and vice versa. And it really just kind of sets the stage to really growing your leadership, whether it's with EXP, whether it's with Texas Realtors, and then going onward to National Association of Realtors. But it's been absolutely one of the most incredible, life-changing things that I could have done for my career, and accepting the opportunity to be affiliated with it.
Sounds amazing. That's
Yeah.
so great. And the connections that you're making, I mean, that's everything, right? And you're in the room with the right people.
I am. And they encourage me to be better. I encourage them to be better. And it's just this family, like this core group of individuals that just want to be better for our communities, for our state, for our cities, just being those realtors, that we're called to be.
Love it. So obviously you're setting yourself up to take on more of a leadership role, but what are you seeing for yourself this coming year? We're all kind of getting into our business planning mode, right? Gear up so we can kick some ass in 2026. Excuse my French. We want to bleep that out now. But what does that look like for Randall? What do you got on your radar for next year?
Well, I've told you and Courtney this, I've told Gina and Travis this, that if you would have asked me, if I would ever be with EXP a year ago, because we're coming up on a year that we started talking, that I'd ever be with EXP or affiliated with EXP, and I would have said it'd be a cold day in hell before I did that, and that's just the honest to God truth. But I tell people all the time that I've gotten more out of the 6 months that I've been affiliated with EXP and Now Nation than I have in any other brokerage that I'm affiliated with for the last 15 years that I've been licensed. I mean, truly, the organization that I have allowed myself to be affiliated with and aligned myself with are just, I tell people all the time, is just next level. The caliber of individual that each one of you guys has just been unbelievable, is the only way that I know how to explain it. So what that looks like for me in 2026 is really just, I've never been more excited to just crush it. I really enjoy being able to align myself with individuals that push me, getting a nudge from Michelle, getting a nudge from you, getting a nudge from Randy Bird, somebody that, from a top part of our organization that really doesn't, he could or couldn't message me. But the one thing that I love about him is that he reaches out and he's like, what can I do to help? And it's like, what? Like, the amount of individuals that just help push me is just incredible. So I don't know. I've been more excited this year to go into 2026 and just kick ass, and you don't have to edit that because that's just the absolute truth. Like, I'm just going to go kick ass. Like, absolutely love serving my clients, whether they're selling, buying, investing, whatever it is. I just sent a past video from a year ago to a client that I met him at an open house. And I sent a video that I had I say I manifested, which I didn't know at the time, but I manifested it because I ended up selling the $1.7 million house. And the funny thing is that I met them at the open house. I sent a video and I was like, hey, great to meet you guys. I'm standing literally in the backyard in front of y'all's upcoming pool that this is going to be y'all's. And I can't wait to come and celebrate, with you guys. And literally like a month and a half later, like we're closing on their house. they didn't think that was going to be their house. They truly did say that day, like, I'm not sure this is the house for us. And sure enough, I ended up selling it. But I look at being very intentional. And again, I love CRMs. I love that they keep us organized. But the one thing that I will continue to do in 2026 is truly picking up the phone and just calling people. It's all about those relationships. People don't understand that. People ask me all the time, how do you do it? I'm exhausted. Honestly, I love being me, but it's exhausting. And I say that in the sense that my phone is exhausted. If I could write a book of my phone, like me, like my phone being a book, like, golly, he's calling somebody else again. Like that would be the storyline of the story that I wrote. Like I'm constantly calling people because I love to just call them and say, hey, how are you doing? I know that we can always text. I know we can always email. I know we can always send a video, but to pick up the phone, it's like, I'll use this for an example. I called somebody that I met in the airport on the way to Anaheim 2 weeks ago. Got their number, talked to them about another business that I'm a part of, but I called them and she called me. She goes, "You're a realtor," or I called her and just checked on them to see how their time was in Napa. Didn't have to do it, but guess what it did? She said, "You said you're a realtor, right?" I said, "I am." She goes, "My husband and I are thinking about downsizing. Do you happen to know of a realtor in our area?"
Mm.
Absolutely, I do. Let me see what I can do, and I'll get you connected with them. That is what the power of picking up the phone is, and having that voice-to-voice conversation and that one-on-one just, hey, how was it? How was y'all's trip to Napa? How did y'all like that restaurant that I referred you guys in Sonoma? It's all about those things of just taking 15 minutes out. And people think, oh, I don't have 15 minutes. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And people tell me all the time, there's so many times that people pull you away. You know what? That's fine if they pull me away, but that's what makes Randall Randall. And that is why I believe my longevity of what I've done in my real estate career from 15 years ago has made me be able to continue in my real estate career today.
You're like
Well,
a connector.
yeah.
And honestly, if I could get paid to be a connector, I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now. Well, I probably would, but
You're getting paid.
Yeah. I was just thinking as you were talking, we've got all this stuff with AI and AI keeps improving. And I'm a big fan of AI in a lot of ways, especially with helping with systems and the process and all that. But I think it's also going to make people lean into more of what you're like the phone calls, videos from real people, authentic content on social media. I think it's going to make us go a little bit more that heavy in that direction because people really want it, or live events or getting together. I just think, anyway, my mind was going, oh, you're going to really thrive as we continue to move towards more of this AI era.
It's like I just told you, Courtney, like being able to go out to California to your event, like that's what I like to do. It's me going and you guys pouring into me and me pouring into you guys and me being able to be around the organization that I have affiliated myself with, which is Now Nation and everything else. Like it's next level. It really is. And we say this all the time. It just makes sense. It's like, it's the best. It's awesome.
Well, I know that you said that you would never be part of the leadership program. You'd never be part of EXP Realty, but here you are now coming. Well, gosh. Also, let me just say, you were a tough nut to crack. You didn't come to EXP like easily. Like it was a process. Am I wrong?
No, you are not wrong.
But you are coming up on a year. Well, kind of. I mean, that we started talking.
April, it'll be a year that we started talking. April will be a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that Cabo? Because he couldn't come to Cabo, but you'll
But
go
I'm going to be in Cabo this year.
Gonna see the best event, my favorite event of the year.
I'll never live that down that I didn't go to Cabo last
You
year.
will not. No, you
And
will not.
that was one regret I'm sure you'll always have. But that being said, Courtney and I have really decided to use this podcast as a way to connect with the people in our organization and showcase them. And so you're the first person we like thought of in terms of like, okay, who do we want to do that off the jump? And so We're really grateful that you're part of our organization, but I wanted to just know you always say it's next level. You always say, you've been poured in more, and I believe you when you say all of that. But if you could really let the listeners know, maybe even just one thing that has transpired over, the last 8 months that has helped your business and helped your life. Like one for your business best and your personal best.
There we go.
Oof. Michelle?
Don't
Michelle, come on. I'm not really that emotional. Even though normally I do. Gosh. So one thing business wise and one thing personal wise. Um, oof. I'll be very vulnerable right now. When I and that's just and I there's no other way I know how to be other than just direct and completely honest. At the time that y'all started talking to me, I was in a I don't want to say dark place, but a dark place. I was ready to get out of real estate. I didn't think that I wanted to be a realtor anymore, and was just ready to go in a different direction. And the fact that God placed me in a perfect scenario with Travis, and we connected, and Travis connected me with you. But then your energy, Michelle, from the second that you called me and just said, it's Michelle Roderick from EXP and blah, 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 Mariposa, California. Like, I was like, okay, like, let's tone it down, and then it was like, then we had this first call, and then I saw the energy that you and Courtney had with me on that first Zoom, and I was like, okay, maybe there is something. And it was one of those things that I had prayed about it. And we joke about that I was a tough cookie to crack, or a tough nut to crack, if you will, or whatever you want to call it. I had lost both of my grandparents, and I didn't know what direction to go.
Mhm.
And it was the first time that I couldn't call them and say, what should I do?
Mm.
And it was that one time that it was in my spiritual life, in my relationship with, God, that I literally leaned on him and said, all right, what do I do? And I was being pulled in different directions. Y'all know, I was being pulled by a local team here in Dallas. I was being pulled by Keller Williams' office. I was being pulled by y'all. And it was one of those things that it was in the moment that I got back from family reunion. I'll be completely honest. Like, I got back from family reunion and I was like, okay, what are we doing here? And I looked at it and said, you know what? And I listened for the first time, and I was intentional with what I needed to do in the 15 years of my career. And I prayed about it, and I, thought about it. And it was like God was telling me, trust me. And from the second that in a personal side of things, the second time that I made the decision to call you and Travis and Courtney to say, I'm doing it, I'm done, it's a done deal, my license has moved over, I've never looked back one time and said I made a mistake. It has only just blossomed my business side of things. On a personal level, I didn't know that outside of Dallas, or outside of Texas, if you will, I didn't know that I could feel the warmth of a family that I chose to be affiliated with, that would be a family that just accepted me for Randall. Like, RZ is RZ. Like, when I met you guys in Fresno, like, even though my flight was delayed and I didn't know what I was walking into, it was just one of those things that I walked in, I met Travis, I met you guys, I met Gina. Like, it was one of those things that it was just like, it felt normal. Like, even though we had only spoken over Zoom and all those things, I felt like I knew you guys. And anybody on a personal level, like, I would be there for you guys in a heartbeat, without a doubt. And I know vice versa, if I needed you guys to be here for me in any situation or any whatever it is, I know y'all would be there for me. So on a personal level, that's how it is with me, with the organization that I've affiliated myself with. And I couldn't be more grateful, especially going into like Thanksgiving now. And this is a perfect probably podcast that we're doing this because, like, I'm so grateful for the organization. Like, from you, Courtney, Travis, Gina, like, y'all are always checking in on me. Like, what do you and Tanya need? What do you need? da 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 da, or hey, I haven't heard from you. Like, what's going on? Are you MIA for a reason? Like, are you good? All the things. So that's just been so rewarding and so just incredibly, just from a leadership standpoint, from my direct people that are above me, just leadership, just in general, just making me strive to be a better leader for the individuals that I'm encouraging as they're coming into the industry, or people that are just calling me like, hey, what would you do with this? And it just paying it forward, I guess you will, is at the end of the day, it's paying it forward.
In just 8 months, you've launched the gated group in Dallas, right? You
I
brought on
have
2 agents on that production team.
3 agents. No, 2 agents. Yeah, 2 agents. Yeah.
And then you also co-sponsored a Dallas team as well. So getting your revenue share, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you've also partnered with our leadership team and working on some relocation leases on just a few. I don't know how many.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah. I'm like, but those are just like from a EXP production success story in the last 8 months. I mean, that's awesome. Renee
Yeah,
should be
no,
proud.
it's been incredible. Yeah, it's been awesome. I'm so fortunate to be affiliated with the Gated Group and just the organization that I'm a part of. Now Nation's been incredible. I mean, it's just been. I can't I can't say enough good things about EXP. I mean, truly, and I laugh because honestly, I do. I'm like, if you would have told me a year ago I'd be at EXP, I'd have been like, sure, pal.
I feel like we've all been there, right, Courtney?
Oh yeah, sure.
For
No,
sure.
but yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. We are so grateful to have you in our organization, and we're excited to see what comes in 2026. And if there's anything you ever need, you know that we're here for you. But the other thing I will also mention is that you do show up. You're not someone that like came to EXP and you're just like, doing whatever. You are someone that has showed up on all the meetings.
He plugs in.
Plug it in. Yeah, plug it in and trying to do the work and trying to get better at whatever things, that you're struggling with. You're always like, how do I do this? What can I do? So I do think that's important because I think the success in anything is a direct reflection on what someone does and in terms of plugging in. So congratulations.
Thank y'all. It's been a blast. I can't wait to see what happens in 2026. I mean, I have big goals. I really do, and it's for recruiting wise, and I say recruiting in the sense that I don't mean that in a used car salesman way. I mean recruiting in true individuals that are wanting to take their businesses and really grow and take it to the next level is what I mean by that. And me being affiliated with our organization is what will help individuals take their businesses to the next level if they want to. If they're already at the ceiling, which I've had multiple conversations, a couple of people that have come on already, Michelle, they were at the ceiling and they were looking for answers. And here we are, collaborating with other agents to co-sponsor, to bring them on board, to make it a better opportunity for them to grow their businesses. So that's what I mean by really recruiting, is really individuals that are wanting to take their businesses, who respect their own businesses, to help take them to the next level. So that's what I mean by recruiting, is we're not just small talking it. We're big. We're big. We're thinking big. So that's where I am.
Love it.
Yes.
Well, Randall, thank you so much for coming on today, for taking the time.
Yes.
And if people wanted to connect with you, what would you say is the best way?
Oh gosh, I would like to say my Instagram, but yeah, no, Instagram rzamora4340. Or you can just always shoot me a text. I always have it at my hip. That's the one thing that I've probably trained everybody in my world with real estate or outside of real estate, is that Randall always has his phone at his hip. And so that's why I think people are always like, if Randall doesn't respond within so long, like something's wrong. Is he in jail? Like, what did he do? Just kidding, not really. But my cell phone number, 806-790-7786. I really do, like, unless I'm with a client or I'm with, doing something, showing a house or on a listing appointment or something like that, or with my family, I'm trying to be very intentional when I'm with them to be present. I will shoot you a text or call you back as soon as I can. But yeah, 806-790-7786.
All right.
Thank
Thanks, Randall. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank y'all.